Alright, so I'm gonna make an early check-in for this deck. The way I use check-ins is just to share some insight, not really to go through like a full-fledged deck profile. I'm trying to keep this short. I feel like check-ins, like, it should be like a 5-minute video, get it over with, and deck profiles will be like a 10 to 15 minute video and get that over with. And then whatever, just replays and all that good stuff, because you really want to see cards move. Um, yeah, so Galaxy Ice Photon Dragons with one Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon. I'm not running Afterglow, so I don't think you need more than one to get the mileage out of Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon. If you need it out the grave, you use Soul Flare, and if you need it when it's in the graveyard, it's the most valuable, because then you have your night plays, and in my opinion, it's like Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon really shines when it's in the grave, and then you can do plays with night. And even if they banish Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon, starliege Photon Blast can actually get it back. So it's like night becomes so strong that they think, oh, I can shut it down by just banishing Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon. Then you summon starliege Photon Blast, get back Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon, and they're just like, whoop-de-doo, like, look how cool that is. So yeah, I actually want to check something as well. I think if starliege Photon Blast can detach more material from this card, then target one of your Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon that is banished and special summon it. If I can do that during battle phase, that'd be really cool. If I can use Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon's effect multiple times per turn. Honestly, I didn't even think about that, but cool, that's something that's out there now. I didn't know. But yeah, I guess the point of this deck has been kind of focusing more on Soul Flare and Union Carrier and starliege Photon Blast, because those three cards kind of make so much of this deck happen that's why I'm running them at such high amounts, because Union Carrier, basically it's 2 lights and you get a search. Soul Flare is 2 lights and you basically get a card back from your grave. And starliege is basically all these monsters, because most of them tend to be stronger than 2k, can be targeted and can be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And then if you ever need them not destroyed by battle, you just equip an orbital to them. And when you have a bunch of walking, untargetable, undestroyed by card effects monsters, yeah, that can be really strong. And that's kind of like where I'm at, where I'm like, I'm just trying to focus on making sure I get a lot of these 2k strong monsters just overwhelming my opponent. So that's kind of where my thought process starts and stems from right now. I have a lot of like almost exclusive ideas for a couple of cards, like I wanted to say. So I use Soldier to almost exclusively to get Knight early on, then I use it to get Brave, and Brave is cool because late game, when you have Primes in your grave or Galaxy Ice Photons in your grave, Galaxy Ice Photons always stays in your grave. I never put that back in my deck, it stays in my grave. Vanisher can stay be an extender after the fact. But Brave basically becomes like a 3k beater or 4k beater that you can go for a game with. Vanisher exclusively gets Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon. I never really use it for getting anything else. Basically, special it, get Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon. After that, it's an extender that I can only special summon once per turn. Yeah, Expedition I only exclusively use to get Soldier. I hardly summon anything else off of that. If you can summon monsters in attack position, Brave would become so much stronger, because you could be almost going for game using Brave with Expedition sometimes. But yeah, I basically use it to get Soldier out, and then maybe if I'll get Brave out of it if it's just stuck in my hand and I'm trying to make a play off of it. Sometimes I consider bumping it to 2 or dropping it to 2, but that's something still to be discussed and still to be tested out. I'll see. Another card I'm considering putting to 2 is Pot of Avarice, because you don't want to draw multiple of these, even though you can use multiple of them in your per turn. The issue lies basically because yeah, you just don't need, I don't like, sometimes you can reach a requirement turn 1, but most likely you won't, and you really want to see Pot of Avarice is really the good card turn 2, 3, and 4. So because I have Cleric already, maybe draw Pot of Avarice to 1. That might be a thing. Yeah, I'm running Cleric since I have this engine so tight. At least I think I have it pretty tight. I feel I can afford the 1 Cleric just to have a card that your opponent wants to ash, and if they do, I can just get it back with Soul Flare anyways. And yeah, just a card that means like I can just do it all over again, which is pretty cool. since Orbital searches the whole deck, I'm maxing on Orbital, and since Lizard searches Orbital, as well as Lizard can get you a Photon on the field, which is super relevant. You kind of want to max out on Photons because the more Photons you run, the better Advancer gets, the better Advancer gets, the better Brave gets, and I think that's enough for me really. And I guess the better Vanisher gets because you require a Photon or a Galaxy Monster to special summon it, and you want names as well. And it's kind of nice that you can tribute off Lizard to summon Thrasher, so that's a thing too. Photon Sanctuary because this card's busted. I was running Cyber Parallel Exceed, and it was like in battle in my head, like Parallel Exceed or Photon Sanctuary. Like I was running both at one point, but that would break. Then I was running just Parallel Exceed, but then it's like okay, but then. Photon Sanctuary is not once per turn, so you can get so much more mileage out of it. Like if you open up a Thrasher and 3 Photon Sanctuaries, you can go for game. Crazy, pretty crazy. Galaxy Expedition, kind of explained that already. Use exclusive to get Soldier. 0, it's a Clericable Reborn card, so I can put that back in my deck and reuse it, and it gives me another target for Cleric as well. It'd probably be better if I was running Wizard as well, but I love Wizard, but there's only so many normal summons I can have, and then if Wizard was Photon Wizard, I'd run it. 100% run it. Foolish Burial because it has a lot of utility with Trick Clown and Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Reinforcement of the Army because that's probably obvious. Monster Reborn because it's Monster Reborn and this deck needs extenders. Reasoning because it's like an RNG-ish kind of. They're gonna call 4. If it's a Trick Clown, I still get it back. It can't hit Thrasher and Vanisher because it can't be summoned outside of their effect. If it's anything else, I get like an RNG-esque effect where it's like Lizard will give me a search, Soldier give me a search, Brave will be probably a beater, Knight will be 2800 attacking vanilla, and Galaxy X Photon Dragon is just Galaxy X Photon Dragon. So yeah, pretty cool card. Buster Lock because why not Buster Lock them first turn and just get it over with? Just say game Buster Lock. This deck can go for Buster Lock first turn every single time. So I know that's super degenerate, but yeah, sometimes you got to play the game as degenerate as they make it out to be. And an Upstart Goblin because I literally had no more ideas, and every time I put another card in it, it would brick. So I put an Upstart Goblin instead. And for the extra deck, it's kind of relevant because I feel like these cards are slightly necessary to how this build is. Utopia and Utopia Lightning. That's just to get that's honestly just potentially go for a game, or if not go for a game, set up a Negalogia AA Zeus play because if you can set that up, you can piss your opponent the hell off. And sometimes you just want to move your opponent off their mental, just make them a little nervous. Nova Infinity because Galaxy Eyes and you need Omni Negates in this deck. That's something that's super crucial. At one point I was trying to run an Eidolon engine or Invoke engine just to get a Omni Negate. Photon Lord because it's Photon Lord. This card's so good. Galaxy Eyes Prime because why not go for a game whenever you want to. Hope Harbinger because it's a Galaxy monster and it can be shuffled back in your deck, and it's so if you summon this and what's another card? If you summon this and Starliege Photon Blast right beside it, it's a hard field to crack sometimes if you set it up right. Soul Flare because Soul Flare is really good and it gets back everything, and Union Carrier because Union Carrier is it's almost everything for this deck. So that's my first check-in with it. I guess that felt more like a deck profile, but it's alright. But yeah, I'll see you guys.